Yeah, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, friends. Today, I don't know what to say because things are not looking that great overall. Um, of course, the markets are looking bright, the futures are looking good, but at this point of time, when I look at what's happening with the overall market, I think the enthusiasm that we are seeing out here is not as warranted. I'm just going to briefly change over the screen manually into my dashboard. For some reason, it didn't turn up. Our fear and greed index has improved a little bit. The greed has dropped from 66 to 64. That's a kind of minor improvement. But what I'm thinking is that just one day after President Trump declared a 50% tariff on European goods starting June 8th, June 9th, markets are rallying on a surprise reversal. A delay now pushed to July 9th. So you can actually see policy-driven volatility in action. Now, what is to prevent any further tweets during the day or the week? Anything can change. So I'm not going to worry too much about what's happening out here. My mission is simple. I have cash in hand. I'm going to liquidate further profitable positions, and I'm moving them all back to Canada overall. Now, the single headline flipped sentiment overnight when the news came out that Trump is delaying the EU tariff to 9th of July. It's only a delay. It's not like it has been resolved, and there is no guarantee that on July 9th, we are going to have a resolution. So please keep that in mind. Dow futures are up around 542 points. S&P futures are up 1.47 point, and Nasdaq is also charging ahead. It's a reminder that in today's market, tweets and pressers can have a lot of effect, and it can move trillions of dollars. At the end of the day, someone is making a lot of money if they know what's going to happen next. And meanwhile, bond yields are falling, not just in the US, but globally. Japan's central bank is stepping in to stabilize its debt market. And in the US, there's optimism around trade. They talk about pushing back EU 50% tariffs. And we have now kind of forgotten what's happening with the China tariff story. So let me assure you, this is a very volatile mix, and retail investors have to be very careful. The market doesn't have much of memory, and it does knee-jerk reaction. That's my observation. So if you scan the top headlines today, they paint a full picture. Treasury yields are slipping on US-EU trade optimism. That's a good thing. When the yields slip, that means the bonds are back in demand. GOP senators are threatening to stall the House budget bill. The ultra-rich are moving gold to Singapore, hedging against Trump volatility. So the smart money is seeing what it is, and it knows that this is not going to end very well. And global bonds are rallying, at least for the time being, until the next negative headline. And elsewhere, Tesla's European sales just plunged 49% as BYD has also started cutting rates. And Tesla's brand damage has taken its toll. And that's not all. There is chatter that US government might keep a stake in US Steel as part of Nippon Steel. That's a bold departure from free market capitalism. I really don't know what is the philosophy of the US government anymore. Is it a capitalist open market, or is it going to be more of a socialist, where the government dictates which company will trade with whom and at what price and buy and manufacture what and where? And also government taking stake in companies. So that's it. I've said this before. We are watching an economic regime shift. The big beautiful bill is a wild card. Its provisions override tax treaties and slap dividend taxes on international investors, ramping up to over, I think, around 50% over time, 5% at a time per year. This includes Canadians, and I would say that it isn't just protectionism, but it's more of capital control. And it seems to me like the US is sending a message to the world: we don't want your money, we don't want your business, we just want to look inward. And everyone who is doing anything with us is kind of taking advantage of us. So, and while the bond market is still pricing optimism today, I wouldn't hold my breath. The rally is real, but so is the uncertainty. So my question to you is, would you invest in US assets if your dividends could be taxed 5% incrementally every year just for being a Canadian or maybe being a foreigner, at least I know this is true for Canada. I would suggest that people who are not Americans and not Canadians to look at the big beautiful bill and see if it's the same treatment they are having. This is a tax treaty override, and it would need some special treatment in the Senate with a 60% vote. But with this government, like even for that matter, tariffing is not the power of the president, it's the power of the House. But the president has taken the power and the House has not done anything to push back. So anything goes with this government. So I would be very careful as a Canadian. All right, that's the macro picture. Let's now jump into the price chart and see what the technicals are telling us under the hood. So let me take you over to our... where are we? There we go. That is my chart out here. So I have lost my chart. So I have to gather it somehow and get it back in here. Give me one moment, please, while I try to revive the window. OBS sometimes loses the windows. So we are going to look for Chrome. And we're going to see where it is. There you go. Wait a second. We go into trading views, super charts, and here we are. Let's go. Let's go into the super charts. And right now, I think we are on S&P 500 futures, which are showing gain of around 1.48%, which means we're going to have a gap up when we open this morning. And our support is going to be 5837. Resistance is going to be 5992.75 for today. It's again a knee-jerk reaction in my opinion. Next, let's slip on to NASDAQ. And NASDAQ is up 1.59%. Again, it's showing a gap up opening today. Remember, we were in an area of support, which we dropped below. That became an area of supply. Now we're going to be bang inside that area of supply when we open up today. Now, and we have this dollar index, which is then just rebounding back again, and it has got a support of 99.203 again. All of this on basis of this enthusiasm that has come up due to the postponement of the EU tariffs. And we'll see whether this lasts for the whole week or even for the whole day. If you look at the 10-year yield, as always in the mornings, it comes very close to this diagonal line of support. Let me mark this green. That's the color it should be. So this line of support always seems to push it back up again. So I'm going to see if it's going to happen again today. And if not, then we will be moving towards our target of 4.756. You'll also see that the 20-year and the 30-year year yields have dropped below 5%. So that's really good. But what is the difference between what happened on Friday and where we are today, right? Even before Friday, nothing has changed. This is just optics. If you have watched Marvel movies, there is this character called Loki. Loki comes up. He's the adopted brother of Thor. And Loki is the god of mischief. What he can do is he can create illusions, and the illusions are temporary and they can be pierced, but most of the time he gets away with illusions. So Trump is creating a whole lot of illusions for the market, and the market falls for it time and again. But I think I'm not falling for it this time. Let's go on to the indicators. And when we look at the indicators, we are going to be looking at S&P 500, and S&P 500 has got supports. Let me draw the supports. For some reason, TradingView has lost all the support lines that I had drawn before. So we have a support out here. Yeah, it has come back. We have a support here, which is at around 5,731.06. And we have a resistance here at 5980.70. That's the way we left it on Friday. But I am thinking that this morning when we open, we are going to be opening into this box, and therefore our immediate support is going to be 5,830. and our immediate resistance is going to be 5,884.26. That's the range in which I expect S&P 500 to move. And then we have NASDAQ. NASDAQ will also be opening in a gap up situation, and I'm just going to draw a line of support, and I'm sure TradingView will come up with something. Yeah. There's always glitch in a live stream. TradingView is also playing around with me. So I'll just remove the support that I had temporarily drawn. This is where we had left it on Friday. And today, NASDAQ is going to open above the support of 20,829. It's actually at 21,000 something. It's much higher. So we'll have resistance. Let me just go and have a look at the futures. NASDAQ futures at 21,305. So 21,305 is what we have out there, and 21,305 will take us into this box. In fact, we'll be bang in the center of this box. Therefore, our first resistance is 21,364, and our next resistance for today is going to be 21,836. That's the range in which we might move. VIX is a little bit down today, down 1.17%. Gold is also down a little bit, but I think I'll take the opportunity to buy some ZGLD on the Canadian side. Everything I'm going to do now is going to be heavily biased on the Canadian side, because we have got Canadian depository receipts which are hedged for exchange risk, and I think I would like to opt out for that. So I'm moving my profits from the US side into the Canadian today. I'm not moving everything, just the profits that I have made, and I'll be investing it on the CDRs. So let us see how it goes. I'll report back tomorrow. Let's go on to look at AI. NVDA. NVDA is also up again today. It's up 2.51%. It's right now at 134.58. So our support will be 128.38, and our resistance is going to be 140. And if you look at Meta is up 2.18% today. We had a resistance at 630.37 when we closed on Friday. Now that resistance has become a support for today, and our resistance is going to be 656.43 for today. Next, let's look at Google. Google is up 1.42% today. We had a support at 168.98 on Friday. That's going to remain a support today. However, we are going to have a resistance, which is going to be at 180.06. And we are right on top of this diagonal line of support. I'm just going to pull this across a little bit so that you can see it clearly. So this diagonal line of support is going to be a diagonal line of resistance for today, but we are just on top of it in the pre-market session. So I'm just going to leave it as a support right now. Later on tomorrow, we'll see whether it remains a support or a resistance. But for today, I would say support is 169.31, resistance is 180.36. Amazon is up 1.61%. We will have a support today at around 202.22, which is this diagonal line of support, and we'll have a resistance at 207.39. Apple is up 1.68% today. Earlier on Friday, we had a support of 191.79 and a resistance of 198.90. Right now, pre-market, we are at 198.48. So this is going to continue to be resistance at 199.04, failing which we have a minor line of resistance at 203.11. Our support will continue to be 192.22. And if you look at Microsoft is up 1.34% in pre-market trades. We will have support at 454.03, and we will have resistance, which is going to be at 456.19. And then if we go to look at Tesla is up 2.27 despite the negative headlines. And we have a support at 329.25, and we have a resistance at 363.10. Next, we have got Oracle. Oracle is up 2.13% in pre-market trades. Earlier, we had a resistance at 157.56, and that's going to become a line of support out here. And our resistance today is going to be at around 161.71, which is this minor line of resistance, failing which we have resistance at 166.93. AMD is up 3.53% today. And earlier, we had a support at 108.07. That will continue to be a support today. We had a resistance at 114.62. That will be a resistance again today. And if we break above this resistance, then we are going to be looking at a resistance of 124.71, because pre-market we are at 114.20. Next, let's look at SMCI. SMCI is up 3.64% today, and it's at 41.55. Therefore, we have support at 38.96, which is going to perform the role of a support today. And we had a resistance of 42.72 on Friday. That's going to perform the role of a resistance again today. If we break above this, we have a minor line of resistance at 46.22. Broadcom is up 2.16%. And if you look at the support that we had on Friday, it was 226.55. That will continue to be a support today because we are at 233.66 in pre-market session. That makes a resistance of 236.99 to be the resistance for today. Next, let's look at Palantir, which is up 3.02% today. And we had a resistance on Friday at 124.37. That's going to become a support today. And our resistance for today is the minor line of resistance at 130.64. So that's it, my friends. That's what we have out here. Let's look at SMH. SMH is at 242.58, up 5.14%. Up 2.16% from where we left it on Friday. So 242.58 takes us to somewhere out here, which means our resistance for today is going to remain 245.62. And our support for today is going to be 232.99. Now, for our friend Hot Dog, we look at Tempus AI. Tempus AI is up 3.32% in pre-market trades. It's quoting at 64.64, which means it will be somewhere out here. Our earlier resistance at 64.23 is now becoming a support for today, and our earlier resistance at 99 is going to become a support for today, and our resistance for today is 67.85. So Tempus is doing very well. And out here, I can see that Hot Dog is saying that Google looks amazing, and I agree absolutely with that sentiment. Yeah, Google is looking great. And I think Google in price multiples is also looking very good. I still have a little bit of Google left with me, so I'm going to hold on to that and see if I can book higher profits. And again, all my Google holding is on the Canadian side, so I don't have any exchange problems out there. But overall, I think even smart money is moving out of US dollars. So we should take advantage, I think, in my personal opinion, of all this boost out here, especially foreigners who are investing in the US market. The message from the United States is very clear. We don't need your money. Take it and go elsewhere or pay us tributes. That's the overall message. Let us see how this ends up. So friends, that kind of brings me to an end of today's session. So if you want to have any chat about any tickers, please let me know. And you might have been seeing that I'm playing around with my studio. I've been learning how to set up ISO and other things on the camera. My last video was a bit too dark in color contrast, so I've improved it today. So subsequent videos will look much better. So I'm working on continuous improvement out here. And I would like to thank you all for your patience while I muddle through all of these things and start to get more professional and less amateurish as we go ahead. Thank you for all your support, especially to Inf, to Hot Dog, and anyone else who tunes in. Bye for now, my friends. Have a nice day. I'm off to my breakfast and then to some